Pesach Sheni is how soon? When is Pesach Sheni? 12 days from now, right? Tonight is the 2nd of ER. Pesach Sheni is the 14th of ER. So last week, there are those who want to try to do Pesach Sheni. And I pointed out in the Rambam, he says, like you find in Shas, that Pesach Sheni is only available if you went through with Pesach Rishon the right way. Pesach Rishon, even if Pesach Rishon happened, but not exactly as it's supposed to, there is no Pesach Sheni. Further, Pesach Sheni is just an option for women. Women don't really have to do Pesach Sheni. For some reason, it's just for men. So I'm going to put over here, Ruin Lefesach Sheni. I'm going to try to upload it again, Josh, so you can open it up also. There's you could open up your close Korbanos. It's in the Rambam. I'm going to put this on the screen. Now, hold on 1 second. I made a chart. Makbili has a chart there that I thought was confusing. So I hope I've improved on the chart by adding more rows so we can understand what exactly we're talking about. The machlokas, the three-way machlokas, Rambam, Rashi, and Ravid, about who is actually supposed to be doing well, everybody's supposed to do Pesach Sheni. The question is, what are the consequences if you don't? The problem with Pesach is that, unlike other korbanos, there's no person didn't do his korban, so he's not on the hook for it, right? Unless he took an oath. I'm going to give this ola no matter what, so he has to bring it. But if it was a type of korban that has set time and the time is over, avar is mano l'tel korbano, right? And that's with regards to both korbanos sibur and korbanos yachid. And there are many people like gerim and women who go through their entire lives, they were obligated to bring korban and they never got around to doing it, right? They're supposed to just be ready to know that they're supposed to do it. So I'm putting this, saying this out to the Korbon Pesach Sheni. I'm sending it out. Now I'm going to open it up over here on the screen. I'm going to share with everybody. Make this in the right window.
Yeah, I said before that gerim and women.
Yeah.
But what about in this case for succeed maybe next week?
Yeah. Yeah. So what are you gonna do? So we mentioned, I think 4 weeks ago, that there is a mechanism. Anybody who's a husar kapara, that means a person who had to bring a certain type of korban that prevents him from eating korbanos. Basically, any woman who's ever given birth, any ger, any person who's been a mitzora, right, or a zav. What are they going to do? How are they going to participate in Pesach? Especially if they don't have a chance to bring their korban before that. So the Gemara says, don't worry about it. There's supposed to be a fund in the temple, one of the chronos, or a kupa, where the person who's obligated to bring this particular korban puts it, the money in there, and he can assume the kohanim or Srizim, they'll take care of it. They'll take all the money out of there, and they'll count how many korbanos of this type they have to bring, and they'll do it on their behalf. So don't worry about it. But this situation, the kupas don't exist. The kupas still don't exist. The basic mikdash is still out of order. So yeah, we're a little bit stuck. So basically, if you have a person in this year, if we had succeeded in doing Korban Pesach, we should have right before slaughtering the Korban Pesach and taken out all those who were Methusarei Kapara. Basically, tell all the gerim from 10 years ago, I'm sorry, but we have no mechanism to bring your korban, so you can't do this. And basically, any woman who's ever given birth also would immediately be disqualified. As you know, this year was the first year in many years since we've been preparing to do Korban Pesach, where I told my wife she's lechatchila not coming. I'm not buying her a share in Korban Pesach. She gave birth too recently. Thank God. But yeah, we have to be ready for such an eventuality that they're right before you slaughter Korban Pesach, you should have to take people off the list because maybe they've contaminated themselves. Maybe they're still Mechusari Kapara. Someone argued, there are people who argue this nowadays, every one of us, men, might have a suffix that we've been a zav. And that's a real rachok. That's a new idea. You can't find that anywhere. Like, how do you know you're not a zav? Okay, how do you know? What?
Maybe I do a mitzvah.
No, you can't be because mitzvah. I keep forgetting you're a kohen, right? You're not a kohen. Who's the kohen? I thought you're a kohen. Anyways, yeah, last year I thought you were kohen too. Even if you had a real bona fide saraz, you were never tameh until the kohen pronounced you tameh. So that never happened. We don't have to worry about people being mitzoras because no one actually went to a kohen who went and was a chacham who knew these things and was able to diagnose him and tell the Kohen, declare him tameh. What? You can't. Well, you need two conditions: the Kohen, or someone with the Kohen knows what he's talking about, and the Kohen actually makes the pronunciation after the Hesker. Yeah, that's the chacham. But you need at least something. You need a Kohen. Kohen can't just go over to a person and say, "You're a Mitzorah." Like, I think I see something on your skin. You're a Mitzorah. The guy has to want to come to the Kohen, just like the guy with Tsaras in his house. Technically speaking, Tsaras abatim doesn't exist. A person never lets anybody into his house and never reveals it to the Kohen. Never walks over to the Kohen and says, "I think I have Tsaras in my house." Then he doesn't have Tsaras in his house. There's no nafkamina la'alacha. That it's a musser actually that the type of person who has tsaras of a beged or of a skin or of his house has to be honest enough to want to repent and go to the Kohen and say, "Mr. Kohen, I think I have a problem." It's like going to AA, you know? Yeah. Yeah. He has to. Yeah, he has to go. What if he never goes? Yes, he doesn't go to the Navera, but many of us don't do tshuva. Okay, that's how it goes. The first step is acknowledging the sin and declaring I'm going to do something about it. But technically speaking, the tuma never kicks in. Yes, he has tsaras, but a person who never has the guts to go to the Kohen, maybe if he confesses to God, he's a Baal Lashon Hara. He finds the person who he badmouthed and he really makes amends for what he did. Great. But he's still not dealing with the tuma aspect, which only kicks in once the Kohen declares him tummy. And by the way, that's why Chazal said there's leeway. If the Yontif is coming up, what should the Kohen do? The guy went to the Kohen. The guy said, "Kohen, I think I have a problem. If Yontif is in 3 days from now, what's the Kohen going to do? Say, come back after Yontif. Okay? Pesach is coming up. I don't want to make you tummy." Okay? Because all depends on what the Kohen actually says. What I opened up here is the fifth parak of Hilchos Korbon Pesach. So you have copies available there. And if you look underneath the what do you call it, the shulchan there, you should have also a copy. I have a few copies over here, and there. Oh, I don't have a Sefer Korbanos. Okay, I don't have it here, but there's a few copies of the Makbili one. He has the chart. Describe what the Rambam is going to describe. So I'm going to read the Rambam here. Well, yeah, Tamei Meis. We're talking about. I was talking about Taras. Yeah. No. He counts from day 3. He gets tummy on Sunday. On day 3, on Tuesday, he gets sprinkled already. And on Shabbos, he gets sprinkled. Then they say we don't want Shabbos the sprinkling, so he starts on Monday. You know, the count.
Okay, so
what?
And if they don't, and if he doesn't get sprinkled,
So the count then never counts.
we can count.
Yeah.
Pesach got it.
If Pesach's coming and no one's gotten sprinkled at least the week before Pesach, we will not have Korban Pesach. Except the Gemara says, so do Pesach Betumah. If the majority are Tamei Meis, all bets are off. So that actually happened in history. That's basically what Yehuda Maccabee and his brothers had. When they got to the Beis Hamikdash, they were all Tamei Meis basically. But they knew the halacha that if everybody's Tamei Meis, you just go ahead with all the avodah. Matter of fact, what's the thing they don't do? When the Beis Hamikdash is running, not just on Pesach, all year round. When we see the halacha said, if they're running things in the Beis Hamikdash Betumah, everything is just like normal, except you don't eat the korbanos. You have a chatas of Rosh Chodesh. Normally, the chatas of Rosh Chodesh is eaten by the kohanim, right? In this case, they just take it out and burn it. You can't eat the chatas. Korban Pesach is exceptional. When the service is done Betumah, you can still eat Korban Pesach. That's an amazing dispensation that we saw before. So here's what the Rambam says. The chart here, everything in black is the Rambam's opinions. Rashi is in blue. There's very little Rashi here where he disagrees with the Rambam or he adds something. And the Ravid is in red. Okay? So you have here in the chart what happened on Pesach Rishon, what happened on Pesach Sheni, and what's the result. Okay? There are 2 results that we care about. Pater means not going to be punished for what happened, off the hook. And Chayav Kares. A person who didn't succeed in bringing Korban Pesach is Chayav Kares. But that's, like I said, that it would be Hoffman's fallacy just to declare a person doesn't do Korban Pesach as Chayav Kares. It's not so clear. There are actually many exceptions. There's a lot of nuance to this. Okay? There's a lot of nuance. So we're not going to steamroll the nuance. Das Rambam. Here it goes. Misha Tami B'Shas Pitas Pesach. Person was Tameh when the Pesach was slaughtered. By the way, not every single type of Tameh. Tumas Mason, things like Tumas Mason. These Tameh Keri, these Tameh Sheretz, Tameh Nida, let's say. How can a man get Tameh Nida? By contact with the Nida, sexual contact. Okay, so he's going to modify this next parak. But assuming the type of tumah that gets pushed to Pesach Sheni. Shein Shochatin Allah. You can't slaughter the Pesach on his behalf. Oh, Shahaya B'derech Rivukah. We saw 3 weeks ago. What's Derech Rivukah? Machlokas. It's a certain distance, okay, a radius out of Jerusalem. Oh, Nanas Be'ones Acher. He is somehow pushed into the situation. Some other thing came up. Okay, I don't know. You can imagine any type of ones. Now that's interesting. Which of these two onasim are mentioned in the Torah? Tameh or Derech Rivukah? That was what the people asked. Moshe Rabbeinu says we're Tameim. And the answer God gave him is, oh, if you're a Tameh or you're Derech Rivukah, you have a way out. You have a Pesach Sheni. But then the Rambam's adding, like Chazal said, any other ones also is in this situation. There are many reasons why you could do it. Hashem added Derech Rivukah, and Chazal said, yeah, whatever. A guy broke his leg. I don't know what else can happen. His mother-in-law came to visit and did something. I don't know. Osha Shagag or a shkaga. What's a shkaga in this case? Person didn't know, he's completely unaware, he wasn't listening to the shiurim, that there's a mitzvah to do Korban Pesach, doesn't understand the gravity of this. He's unwitting. That's the type of ones. V'lo ikriv barishon, hareza shulchet Pesach barba asar shel chodesh hasheni bein ha'arbayim. He can slaughter Korban Pesach on the 14th day of the second month. The second month is Yar, that's this month. On the 14th day. Like it says in the Torah. Ushchitat Pesach zeh mitzvah aseh b'fnei atzma. It's an independent mitzvah. Why do the Rambam say this? This Pesach Sheni, it's its own mitzvah. Why? Because to the Rambam, it's a whole science how you count the big 613. There are those who would have said that perhaps Pesach Sheni is subsumed in Pesach Rishon, and their count of the 248 positive commandments is different from that of the Rambam. How many other Rishonim and Gaonim disagree with the Rambam in his count? Many. As a matter of fact, all those who have a list, like the Bahag and Sefer Achino, etc., the Ramban, they all disagree big time with each other about how to count the mitzvahs. No one agrees with anybody. Okay? So that's why he says this. The Doches Shabbos. If Pesach Sheni is on Shabbos, so Pesach Sheni wins. Sheni Tashlumin L'Rishon. The Sheni is not Tashlumin L'Rishon. Why would Rambam say this explicitly? Because there are even Tanaim who disagreed with this statement over here. Ela Regel B'fnei Atzmo Fichach Chayvim Elav Karet. Therefore, if a person were to miss Pesach Sheni, he could end up being hit with kares. Just like a person misses Pesach Rishon is hit with kares, so too a person misses Pesach Sheni. Make sense? Okay. Is this entirely clear? No, the Rambam will then say there's a lot of details to this. Ketzad, Misha Shagago Ne'anas V'lo Ikriv Barishon. You have a person who's Shogeg or Ne'anas, didn't bring Korbon, didn't bring Pesach Rishon. Notice he's talking about these particular cases. Don't talk too much on Derech Rivukah. So look in the chart over here. You have Misha Shagag Onanas, Lo Ikriv Barishon, right? He says here, Im Hazid V'lo Ikriv Bashini. If then he's mazid the second time around, so God let him off the hook the first time. He's shoging and Nanas. Hazid V'lo Ikriv Bashini Chayav Kares. V'im Shagag Onanas Af Bashini Putter. Twice go around. Anus or shogig the first time, and anus or shogig the second time. Putter, no kares. Good. That would make sense because there's no zadon here. But if he's mazid on the second time, what do you call mazid, by the way? What's the Rambam's definition of a mazid with regards to not bringing Korban Pesach? A person who knew that there was such a mitzvah to bring Korban Pesach, but did not try. He just sat around and did nothing, which is why I keep telling people, you have to do the basic steps to bring Korban Pesach, because 1 year, God willing soon, just like it used to be there was no state of Israel and Jews didn't live in Eretz Yisrael, and now they do. And Jews used to not keep Shemitah, now they do. So too, one day, Korban Pesach will come back as a mitzvah. And if you're one of those millions who do not try to bring Korban Pesach at all, you just sat around, you knew it, you heard maybe some guy, some kook in Chaviakov telling people you have to get ready for Korban Pesach, but you did nothing to get ready for Korban Pesach, but instead you got in your car at 2:00 in the afternoon in Jerusalem and said, I'm going to drive to my in-laws in Kiryat Malach or whatever for Pesach. You are amazing. You are Chayav Kares. That's bad. Okay? understand that. You can't. If all of Am Yisrael, I think if all of Am Yisrael were aware of this fact that Korban Pesach is something we have to do, like Bris Milah, then everybody would have shown up. But the problem is, people are just unaware of this. They're all shogegin. Mutav you shogegin. Let them continue being ignorant. But if you know better, then you should not. You should be ready. I said, how many people were with us waiting around for Korban Pesach on Erev Pesach? It was pretty pathetic. There was like 3 people. 3 of us. It was really bad. At Kikart Sahel, the amphitheater area near Jaffa Gate. Okay, next. What? No, we were waiting there for to get together. All the people who were willing, that was the meeting place to march to the Temple Mount from there. We do go on the Temple Mount.
Oh, you want to go?
They don't let you bring a Korbon. But either way, at the meeting place, early in the afternoon, for everybody gathered, all those who want to do Pesach are supposed to be at Kikart Sahel and bring your goats, etc. There were 3 people there. Okay? 3 people. I was there. I was one of the 3. Yes. No one stopped me because we didn't have the goats. The people with the goats were stopped. No, places beyond that or within the old city. All around the place, they're catching guys with goats or sheep. Yes, they caught many people with behemoths that were intended for Korban Pesach.
You have them in shop.
Yes, you try to find the small one. You don't want to suffocate it in boxes, corrugated cardboard boxes. And some Raphael kept his just in an apartment in the old city for like a week before Pesach. No, he stepped out of the apartment with this animal and started carrying it toward the Temple Mount when they caught him. He was close enough that he has to, he was making a point to show that this is what we're trying to do. You know what that means? No, they go with Muslims. Yes, many of us, we discussed this before, and many of us have disguised ourselves and gone onto the Temple Mount in order to do things like pray and prostrate ourselves. Some dresses, I don't like the whole thing. Try to pass as a Muslim or an Arab, but I can't do it. But I could pass for a Texan. Okay, so that's what I did. Okay. What are you going to do? You could, but you need a Kohen, you need a Mizbeach. A Mizbeach you can't conceal. Let's continue the Rambam. Hezid v'lo ikriv barishon, hareza makriv bashini, v'im lo ikriv bashini, afal pi sheshagag, hareza chayav karet, sharei lo ikriv korban Hashem b'moado v'yam ezid. So what comes out from the Rambam over here when we build this chart? Look at the chart. You see that wherever there's a zadon in one of the categories, in one of the columns, Hezid barishon, Rambam says, Hezid v'lo ikriv, then it doesn't matter if he missed on the Sheni somehow, he's still chayav kares, right? You see that? That's like over here where I'm pointing. And if he missed the first and has a zadon of some sort, so he gets hit with kares. That's what you can see over here. But if a person was tamei and derech choka, okay, tamei and derech choka, Rambam's going to say the difference between tamei and derech choka and other onasim and shogeg is that once a person's tamei derech choka during the first Korban Pesach, even if he's mazed the second time around, he will not be hit with kares. That's this part of the chart over here. So I'll read that in the Rambam. This is the difference. The Rambam will say that comes out from Psukim. I told you that derech choka tamei onus shogeg on the first Pesach, they all get pushed to the second Pesach, right? Second chance. But the pasuk only discussed those first 2, tamei and derech choka. Why? Tamei and derech choka have the allowance that if that's what happens to them on the first Pesach, then if they're mazed with the second Pesach, they will not be hit with the Chiyuv Kares. Whereas the Anusim and the Shogegim of the first Pesach, the first time around, yeah, they have an opportunity to do Pesach the second time, but if they miss the second time of mazed, then they'll be hit with Kares. Make sense? What? Yeah. Erev Pesach. They're derech choka. Yeah, also they're tamei. The problem is The Rambam modifies it, says not every Tameh. Remember, Tameh makes, but when Tumas Hutra B'tzibur, that's out the door.
How about
Kerry? No. Yeah, so those no. Those people are totally chayav. They are supposed to, Rambam says afterwards, he says here, Tameh sheyachol l'tar b'fesach rishon, shelo taval, ela yasha b'tumaso, ad she'avar zvar, put on a Korbon, saying, well, I'm a Tameh. I have Tumas Kerry. I have Tumas Sherry. I was cleaning up dead mice and lizards the other day. Okay? You have regular Tuma. You can't say, well, I have dispensation. I'm tummy the first time around. And even amazed at the second Pesach, I'm already putter. Doesn't work that way. Okay? You can't, that's why it's so basic. Anybody, all those just don't do Pesach. Don't even go to mikvah Erev Pesach. You don't have to go to the temple to do this. You just have to go to mikvah Erev Pesach before sundown. Any time before sundown. And you didn't. You're in big trouble. I was hoping you're going to say, so everybody should just leave the environs of Jerusalem. Clear out the Jerusalem radius. Everywhere between Modi'in and Jerusalem should be empty of Jews. The problem is, millions of Jews live in that area. Okay? All of us, all of Kochav Yaakov, and all of Ma'ale Adumim, and all of the Gush is included in this. And everything in the Jerusalem corridor, until halfway to the airport, basically, until basically Beit Shemesh. Beit Shemesh is areas of Beit Shemesh are Suffolk. So these are very highly Orthodox places. In one hand, I feel like I should tell people that if everybody was aware of these basic halachas, they would want to do Korban Pesach and then we would succeed. But on the other hand, Chazal warned us, you tell people and they're aware of these halachas, they'll be mizidim. Then they won't do it anyways. But this time they'll do it on purpose. So I don't know what's better. So the answer is, turns out I don't have a big microphone here. My soapbox is kind of low. And thank God that people who are listening to this are the type of people actually take it to heart. So next time, people know, do the basics. Get yourself a manui for Korban Pesach. At least go to mikveh. Be in Jerusalem or right around Jerusalem, close enough that if Korban Pesach, God willing, actually happens, we'll be able to do it. Because if you don't do those basic steps, and we succeed, that's pretty bad. It's like the article said in Rav Kanievsky's name, which I doubt he actually said. If he said it, it was a mistake, so he didn't say it. That just like going into Mekom Mikdash in the state of Tuma is one of the worst averas in Torah because it's a chiyuv kares. So too, not bringing Korban Pesach is a chiyuv kares. The Rambam says, I don't know where to place these. You know why? With regards to averas, we actually have a hierarchy of which averas are worse. Look at the punishment. If it's an Isser Skila, that's the worst. If it's Isser Sreifa, it's a little bit less than that. Hereg is a little bit less than that. Chenek is less than that. Malchus is less than that. So you can figure out how bad the averas are. But with regards to not doing the positive commandments, I don't really have a hierarchy about that because they're all positive commandments. I can't make one more valuable than the other. But there are two positive commandments that are chiyuv kares. So those are the top two mitzvahs, I say, circumcision and Korban Pesach. We'll stop here because it's getting a little bit late, so we'll pick this up next time. Yeah. Let's close with the blessing. May we see the fulfillment of the commandments to settle the land of Israel, conquer the land of Israel, and destroy Amalek speedily in our days. Amen.
We would like to encourage our viewers to share these videos with friends and send in your responses. If you would like to obtain Birkon Nusach Eretz Yisrael or invite the rabbi for a speaking engagement, please email us at office@machonshilo.org.